Hello, welcome or welcome back to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet and weaving, all of the fibre related things. Today's video is a 12 cast-ons making vlog. If you happen to be new to the channel you are most welcome, but you may be confused when I'm talking about the 12 cast-ons. There are some playlists on the main channel page. If you go to the Yarn and Yarns channel page on YouTube, you'll find some playlists titled 12 cast-ons, and in a nutshell it's a make-along that I host each year where I cast on 12 new projects to set myself up for my year's worth of making, and I vlog the first day of each of the cast-ons, and then in the coming weeks, months, years I try to create these vlogs which document where, when, how I get on with each of the projects and how they progress over time. So today's video is one of those. It is the 1st of April 2024, April Fool's Day, as I am recording this, and I have recently been setting my monthly making priorities, and part of that adventure involves asking someone in our lovely Yarn and Yarns community to pick a project for me to focus on. I'm someone who enjoys having lots of projects on the needles, and so I try to set myself a little priority list at the beginning of each month to make sure that I'm concentrating and making progress on a few projects rather than flitting backwards and forwards between the umpteen projects that I have on the needles. For this month, for April, the lovely Lynn had the opportunity to pick a project for me, and Lynn chose one of my 12 cast-on projects, and it is the pressed flower sock, which is a pattern by Amy Christophers, or Christophers. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce their surname, but hopefully one of those iterations is right, and I shall put the pattern and links below. They will be Ravelry links, so if you're not a Ravelry user just be aware and don't click on those links, but they're pretty popular patterns. There is literally pressed flowers everything these days, so I'm knitting the socks, but there's like a cardigan, a sweater, a cowl, I believe, so I'm sure that you will probably be familiar with this design. I was very kindly gifted this pattern by my lovely friend Angela. Angie, hello if you're watching. So I cast this on as part of my 12 cast-ons make along this year. I'm using a combination of some opal yarn, the solid colours, which is the brown colour in the background, and I'm pairing that with some of my hand spun yarn, which is the sort of blue yarn that's fading to purple for the flowers. And this is where I got to on the first day of working on this project, so I'm part way through the leg. I think maybe I've got another pattern repeat or so to go before I pop in the heel. I tend not to make the legs on my socks super long, I just prefer a shorter leg. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where I get to in the coming weeks of this project. We are going through quite an unsettled time here at the moment. We've got some family things going on, so I'm not entirely sure how my month of making is going to go, but I am determined to try and add at least a little bit of progress to this sock, as Lynn has very kindly taken the time to pick this out for me. Do I need to say anything else? Probably not. I just need to get working on the project really, don't I? And we'll see how it goes. I'm keeping the project in a project bag that I made myself using some of my woven fabric paired with just some commercial cotton. And yeah, I guess we'll just see what the coming weeks and months bring. It's a bank holiday here in the UK today. Bank holiday, it's Easter Monday. I have just come back from a weekend away. I've got a few hours left to sort of relax and try and enjoy myself for a few hours before I have to go out to work to the day job tomorrow. So I think I will spend a little bit of time this afternoon working on this project, adding a row or two, and hopefully that will get my month of making off to a good start. Hey, it is the 17th of April as I'm recording this, so just over halfway through the month. I've been away from home for the last 10 days, so I haven't done a lot of my pressed flowers socks other than what I did on that first day, the first day of April. I don't think I checked in at the end of the day though. So here is my progress. as you can see, I've moved away from the cuff chart on the sock pattern. I'm now into the sort of chart proper, and I've reached the point where I am going to insert my heel. So this will be the entirety of the leg of my sock. The pattern calls for an afterthought heel, I believe. When I posted the first day of cast on for this project, someone in the comments, I think it was Julianne, asked if I had thought about or ever tried the umbrella heel, which I haven't. And this was kind of on my mind, and I was chatting about it while I was away with a group of friends back in February, and asked if anyone had tried the umbrella heel. And my lovely friend Zoe gifted me a pattern by K.F. Jones. I think it might be called the Frost Socks, but I will double check, and if I'm remembering that incorrectly, I'll put the name of the pattern on the screen. And that pattern comes with instructions for how to do the umbrella heel, so I think I'm going to try that. I'm still a little bit unsure about how a short row heel is going to fit me with this mosaic pattern. Obviously with the colour work on the socks aren't quite as stretchy as a normal sock. Already tried to compensate for that by going up a needle size for this sock. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my waste yarn for the heel. I'll probably knit another pattern repeat or whatever it says to do next in the pattern for the foot. And then before I carry on and finish the sock, I think I'm going to come back and pick up the stitches for the heel and put it in and just test the fit before I knit the full sock and see how it's working out. Might have to try and find a way to adapt the pattern and put in a heel flap and gusset, because I know on colour work socks the traditional heel flap and gusset usually works for me in terms of fit. So yeah, that's where I'm at with these socks. I thought I'd check in today because I'm hoping to work on these. So I'm going to put in a little bit of waste yarn so that I can come back and do my heel, carry on knitting another few rows on the foot, and then I guess I will check in once I have done all that. Hopefully that will be before the end of the month. I'm sure it will. I could probably get it done today if I tried. However, this is one of the very few days that I'm going to probably have to spend at home doing what I want this month. So my to-do list is as long as my arm. I want to work on all the things. I need to catch up on all of the things around the house. I've got a list of things that I want to do for YarnNYarns. It's, yeah. I know I'm not going to fit in everything. I guess maybe I just need to concentrate on one or two of those things on my to-do list rather than flitting around as I have wanted to do. So yeah, maybe I need to just set myself a goal of putting this heel in today and forget all the rest of the projects. Will I do that? Time will tell. Okay, so apologies for the glare of the light on my glasses. I'm sat opposite my computer screen, but this is a good opportunity for me to update you with my progress today on the pressed flower socks. I have put in a heel, the umbrella heel, and I'm happy to report I've tried it on and it seems to fit really nicely. I've got plenty of room to get this sock on over my heel around my ankle. With that unknown or that question mark answered, I can happily knit away on this sock now. I would really love to try and finish these socks this month. I'm feeling motivated to do so because as I've been sat knitting today, I've realised that I'm going to have quite a lot of this hand spun yarn left over. I've not used that much so far in the sock. But this would be perfect to add to another project that I'm currently working on, which is my Raya sweater, which is using bits and pieces of hand spun in blues with a little bit of purple, a little bit of pink thrown in. So if I can get these socks finished in a reasonable time frame, then I can throw the leftovers into that project straight away rather than have them sort of hanging around languishing. My only question mark is, as I said earlier, it's the 17th of April, so there's what, 13 days-ish left in the month. And because things are so up and down with our family situation at the moment, I'm not sure how many of those days I will be spending at home. I know for sure that I'm at home for the next 3 days, and then we shall see what things are like and whether I need to go away again and stay with family. It's been pretty much a week since I last caught up with you, and unfortunately I haven't managed to make any more progress on my sock yet, and it's starting to annoy me, frustrate me. It's my day off from the day job and it's a Wednesday. I usually spend Wednesdays catching up on yarn and yarn stuff, so it's not a day off, but it's a day where I don't have to go to the office. And it's quite a bright day out there. It's very cloudy, very overcast. You might be able to tell from the light change, but the sun keeps trying to peek out. And I'm very conscious that I haven't had too much time to myself this month, and in this vlog there's been just a lot of me chatting at the camera and nothing particularly fun has been happening. So I think we're going to go out on a little adventure. I'm going to take my sock with me, hopefully do a little bit of knitting, and I'm heading off to a local house and gardens called Duffryn Gardens. Hopefully the spring flowers will be out, which is what has prompted me to think about this project and this outing. So I'm working on the pressed flowers. Thought it'd be nice just to maybe sit among some pretty flowers in a nice garden and do a little bit of knitting. So let's head on out and see if we can at least get maybe one sock finished. I'd hope to get the pair finished by the end of the month, but I don't think that's going to happen now. But let's try and get at least one sock finished by the end of the month. And that starts with a nice little trip out in the car, just up the road, a little bit of time spent outdoors. I hope you enjoyed that little excursion out to Duffryn Gardens with me. I had an amazing couple of hours. It did actually cloud over and spit to rain at one point, but I didn't let that stop me. I was still sat there in the rain knitting like a slight loon. But I had a good time and it was just what I needed. Life has been so hectic for us these last couple of months, and I think it's going to continue to be that way. So I think I'm going to grab every opportunity for an hour or two to myself, and I'm really glad that I kind of ignored some of the other things on my to-do list and just took that time for myself. But thanks to that time and a little bit more time spent in the evening, I have a finished first sock almost. You can see it's still on the needles. I needed to graft the toe together. So yeah, I more or less finished the foot by the time I got home that day, and then I spent a little bit of time in the evening just adding in my toe. It kind of is quite funny to me when I look at this sock. I don't think it's that obvious on the camera, but it looks quite short to me compared to some of the other socks that I have made. But because I think I knit this on slightly bigger needles to maybe compensate for the sort of slight lack of widthwise stretchiness for the mosaic knitting, I think I might have gone a bit too far in that direction, because this does actually have like loads of stretch to it, particularly lengthwise. So yeah, I've tried this on and obviously it fits. I wouldn't have put in the toe and finished the sock if it didn't. But yeah, the foot just seems really short compared to my usual foot length, but obviously it's not. It's just some kind of optical illusion. So yeah, there's still a few days left in the month of April. I will graft the toe this evening and cast on, and then we'll see what I can do before the end of the month. I'm not going to promise that I will be able to finish the pair of socks, but yeah, I'm still feeling like quite motivated, but I've got quite a few things that I'd like to finish. My month of April didn't quite end as I had anticipated, and I ended up picking up a little bit of a head cold, so sorry for sharing me in my sick bed with you. I tried to cut out most of my face so you couldn't see the horror. But it did mean that I spent a day just in bed knitting, and so I made quite a bit of progress on my pressed flowers socks, which was absolutely fantastic. And so I decided to carry the project over into the first few days of May, and after a few days not really leaving the house and feeling pretty poorly, I decided to take myself off for a little beach walk and a little bit of beach knitting. The weather here in the UK has not been very spring-like, and we haven't seen much sun. It's been quite a lot of rain here in South Wales. So I decided, even though it was very overcast, to treat myself to a nice ice cream, the first ice cream of 2024, down on the beach, my local beach. And I sat and did a little bit of knitting. I was kind of hoping that I might finish the sock, but between the ice cream and the cool breeze, my fingers got cold pretty quickly. So I did a little bit of knitting down on the beach, but I didn't quite manage to get the foot of the sock finished as I had hoped initially when I left the house, but it's all okay. I managed to sit outside, get some fresh air, blow out the cobwebs, and make a little bit of progress. It's the 8th of May as I'm recording this. We've been away from home for a few days, spending some time with family, and I was thinking about taking this pressed flowers project with me. In the end I decided not to, because there's not really that much of it left, and I knew once I sat down it would probably take me an hour or so maximum, so it seemed a little bit of a waste to cart the project away with me, only to spend a little bit of time working on it and then just bring it back again. So now we're back home, I am definitely going to get this finished. You can see I'm at the point now where I need to graft the toe together, and then the only other thing I need to do on this second sock is go back and put in that umbrella heel. So yeah, I will have these finished this evening for sure, and I'm really excited to get them done. I'm happy to say that it is time to wrap up this vlog, because I have a finished pair of socks. Yay! 4 months into the year, and I finally got my first finished object of my 12 cast-ons this year. Got a lot of catching up to do, haven't I? I've had a slow start, but we shall see where we go from here. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? That's what I'm going to keep telling myself this year. It's going to be one of those years. We have lots and lots going on. Anyway, yes, socks are finished, blocked, cast off, dried, so yay! I posted a photo on Instagram probably a week or so ago now from when I'm recording this, sharing a picture in progress of my second sock, and I've had quite a few comments on that post asking whether folks felt like this was an easy pattern to knit. And I will say that the mosaic knitting is quite easy. I think I've probably said this before. You're only ever working with one colour at a time, and you slip stitches in the rows to create the colour work pattern. So you do have to be a little bit mindful. Let's take one of the socks off the blockers. That, oops, I've got so much stuff on the table in front of me, can't balance the blockers. So you do have to be a little bit mindful that you are leaving sort of some decent loose-ish floats. Let's turn this inside out. But that's really no different than if you were working colour work, but obviously it's slightly easier because you're only dealing with one colour at a time in each row rather than managing 2 colours per row. So yeah, as long as you make sure that you're not pulling the yarn across your slip stitches too tightly on the back, it is a fairly straightforward technique. The one thing I will say about this pattern, which I think I probably mentioned in my cast on video, but maybe not in this video, is that the pattern itself for the sock, I believe if I'm remembering rightly, only comes in 1 stitch count. So I did go up a needle size to try and make the leg and the foot slightly stretchier for me. It's probably a pattern that's worth doing a swatch for, and comparing that, if you're a sock knitter, comparing your sort of mosaic swatch to your standard sock knitting gauge, just to make sure that you're going to get a sock that fits nicely as you would like. But yeah, aside from that, I have no qualms about recommending the pattern. I would love to make a pressed flowers sweater or a pressed flowers cardigan now, because it's just been a really fun knit, and I could see myself using like a similar sort of chocolatey brown colour for the background of a sweater or a cardigan, and channeling my 70s child and using my favourite orange as the contrast colour. I feel like that might be something that might happen in my future, but when that will be, I don't know. I have so much on my plate at the moment. I can't see myself starting too many new projects in the near future. So yes, I think that is everything for this video, aside from I will try the socks on and do a couple of shots so you can see them on my feet. Yeah, if you've made it to the end of this vlog, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments, have you tried any of the pressed flowers patterns? Are you tempted to? Or do you have any other recommendations for mosaic knitting patterns? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I will of course be back again soon here on the channel with some more making content, so I hope you will join me for the next video. But until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.